We start in the US, where President Donald Trump is sending 1,500 troops to the Mexican border to boost security as he moves to crack down on illegal immigration. The news came after Mr. Trump gave his first television interview since re-entering the White House. Our North America correspondent Merlin Thomas has the details.
Mr. President.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Donald Trump began his interview with Fox News speaking about his favorite topic, immigration.
This was a gross miscarriage of common sense to allow people to come in. This is not just South America. This isn't, we talk Venezuela, that's a big abuser, but these are countries from
Iran,
the
Syria?
Congo, countries that you don't even think of. The Congo has emptied their prisons out into the United States.
For him, it was an opportunity to repeat many of the unverified claims he's made before. It follows an announcement that the Pentagon is deploying more than 1,500 troops to the US-Mexico border to beef up resources, as well as providing air support to help deport undocumented migrants from states like California and Texas. While he's going full speed ahead with the executive orders cracking down on illegal immigration, the president has also been on the defensive, standing by his decision to pardon nearly 1,600 of the January 6 rioters.
Why did they get a pardon?
A number of reasons. Number one, they were in there for 3.5 years, a long time.
Right.
And in many solitary confinement, treated like nobody's ever been treated so badly. They were treated like the worst criminals in history. And you know what they were there for? They were protesting the vote because they knew the election was rigged.
Despite the attention his own pardons received, he was quick to turn the tables on President Biden, who controversially pardoned his family members on his last day in office.
The precedent that he set on pardons is amazing. That's a much bigger story, but people don't like talking about it. He pardoned everybody, but he didn't pardon himself.
Aside from issuing executive orders and pardons, Trump is also considering what to do about TikTok. The social media platform's time is running out as it faces a ban in America over alleged national security concerns because of its Chinese parent company. But Donald Trump doesn't seem so worried.
We have our telephones made in China, for the most part. We have so many things made in China, so why don't they mention that,
Let me get to
the
some
interesting
issues.
thing with TikTok, though, is you're dealing with a lot of young people. So
They love it.
is it that important for China to be spying on young people, on young kids watching crazy videos and things?
Trump's first week has been incredibly busy, and he's not done yet. In a few days, he'll visit California, a state deeply affected by wildfires that are still raging.
Some of the wealthiest, most powerful people lost their homes, and it looked like our country was helpless. This fire was just raging, and then it would catch to another area, another area, another area. There was nothing. It took a week and a half, and I've never seen anything like it. We look so weak.
Trump supporters have been pleased with their president's actions so far, and they're not done hearing from him yet. As Fox TV presenter Sean Hannity revealed, there's a part 2 of this interview still to come later on Thursday.
Well, yesterday, Donald Trump warned he will impose high tariffs and further sanctions on Russia if Vladimir Putin fails to end the war in Ukraine. Writing on his social media platform Truth Social, he said that by pushing to settle the war, he was doing Russia and its president a very big favour. Well, let's get some analysis on this with John Herbst. He's a former US ambassador to Ukraine and joins me now. Welcome to you. Thanks very much for being with us. Prior to taking office, Donald Trump did say that he would end this war in 24 hours, didn't he? What do you make of this threat to Russia? What impact could it have?
I think what he did was very smart. He poured cold water on expectations in Moscow that he would be easy on Putin and let Putin win in some fashion its war of aggression against Ukraine. And while tariffs are not going to help much to persuade Putin, enhancing sanctions, especially the tough sanctions that were put in place at the end of the Biden administration on the Russian ghost fleet of oil tankers, could have a serious impact. But chances are it's not going to draw Putin to the negotiating table in the near term. It might work over time, but probably not to help Trump meet his deadline of 6 months to achieve an agreement.
So what other tools do you think Donald Trump has in his back pocket with regards to trying to entice Russia to end this war?
If you understand Putin's motivation, which is to take effective political control of Ukraine. He believes that since he's able to, inch by inch, take additional Ukrainian land at massive cost in terms of Russian and North Korean lives, he can have a better position on that negotiating table the longer the fighting continues. So the best way to tell Putin that's not going to work is for the Trump administration to offer a new aid package to Ukraine, which includes weapons. Now, reflecting Trump priorities, this could be in the form of loans. That would tell the Russians that the battlefield situation is not going to move in their direction. That might move Putin to the table quicker. But this is a very good first start for President Trump, and I, again, applaud what he did.
When it comes to negotiations between Russia and Ukraine, which inevitably is where this conflict will end, to bring both parties to the table, Putin has repeatedly said he's prepared to negotiate an end only if Ukraine accepts the reality of what he says Russia's territorial gains, currently around 20% of its land. Will Ukraine accept that? What's its starting position, do you think?
I think that would be very painful for Ukraine. But, Trump and his team, even before the inauguration, when he was the president-elect, were putting out publicly essentially 4 elements of the peace. 2 were painful for Ukraine, 2 were painful for Putin. The ones that are painful for Ukraine were territorial compromise and at least a 20-year moratorium on Ukraine joining NATO. And Zelensky said he doesn't like the society very much, but he's willing to make territorial concessions to get a deal. The Russians have insisted on their conditions all along, which mean, again, the effective political control of Ukraine. And Russian commentators and even officials, including Foreign Minister Lavrov, have trashed the terms that the Trump team put out, which is why President Trump said accurately yesterday, the Ukrainians have indicated a willingness concretely to compromise. We've seen no such willingness on the Russian side.
OK, John Herbst, former US ambassador to Ukraine. Really interesting to get your analysis. Thank you for being with us.
My pleasure. Thank you.